Jerry, we're still in Spanish Lookout. I must say, I'm totally impressed, thoroughly impressed with this sense of community.
It's a very peaceful environment. And you know, we're at Countryside Park and it's such a beautiful place.
Here, guys. So who are meeting here today?
We're meeting one of the community leaders.
Yeah, seen right there. So let's introduce ourselves.
Hello, I'm Harry.
Sean.
Hi, Harry. I'm Jer. Nice to meet you.
As well.
Thank you for seeing us today.
Well, thank you for highlighting our community.
Yes, I love what you say, community. I've been impressed again. I'm saying it's such a community.
It's such a tight-knit community.
Yes, and everybody works together. Clean. I feel like I'm in a different country within this country.
Well, it's still Belize.
Still Belize, of course, it's Belize. And I hear you talk Creole just now too, so I know you're Belizean. So tell us about Spanish Lookout.
Well, as you know, the Mennonites came here in 1958. At the time, the people from Mexico were looking for an opportunity to settle in a country where they could live their traditions. The government of British Honduras at the time was very receptive. You know, they thought the Mennonites could contribute to the agricultural development of the country. And that has been our primary focus so far. Over the years now, the need for business and importation has proven that there's a market for business. Right. And so today Spanish Lookout has developed into a semi-business community, right? We're agriculture and business, not just so much agriculture.
I would beg to differ, not semi. I mean, you're the leading, I think, in the entire country. We even to say that the economic backbone of agriculture. I told Jerry this morning that if we subtracted the Mennonites, just the food alone, no chicken, no milk, no... Yeah.
And speaking about that, can you tell us some of the products that you guys produce over here?
Well, it was all out of a need. When the Mennonites came to Belize, I mean, they are farmers traditionally, right? If you look throughout the world, if there's Mennonites, they are farming, they're into agriculture. But Belize had needs, you know, they had a need for chicken, for eggs, and for other products, right? Rice and beans. I mean, today rice and beans, it used to be people eat chicken, fish, but now they eat rice and beans with chicken, right?
Yes.
And so, so I think it was born out of a need, you know, and thankfully it has worked well. You know, the Belizeans like our product and we are happy to produce it, and the environment is good. It's a tropical country, and so I think it has worked very well. I think.
So we're at Countryside Park right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the park and who comes here?
Well, the park was built to commemorate the 50th anniversary. The Mennonites came in 1958. In 2008 it was 50 years, and we had a big celebration here, a 3 or 4 day celebration. And this park was built primarily out of donations from local business people and others. As you can see, there's the beautiful lake, all the trees and so on, and it was built here to celebrate the anniversary. And since then we've had a biannual expo, a business expo here. It's open to the public. At the moment there's still free admission to anybody, so as you can see there's people here having a picnic. On the weekends it's very busy, a lot of locals and Belizeans. I mean, everybody shows up to have a picnic, and it's an accommodating environment, open to anybody, and we continue to maintain it, and we're very proud of it.
Yes, it's very picturesque. It's almost like if we're on a movie set, right, Sean?
Yeah, the plants.
I could take a little photo shoot over there.
Yeah, I love photo shoot. So
you were telling us that there is a commemorative monument.
We have over here to your right, we have the History Circle, and it was built because a lot of things have happened since 1958. We have had kidnappings, murders, we also have had hurricanes. We've had a lot of success stories. And we have a History Circle, as we call it, and it has a lot of the main events that have happened throughout the history of the community. And so if you don't mind, why don't we go take a look?
Oh, that would be perfect.
And I can show you some of the events. They are highlighted in little markers there. And it spirals outward, so we expect to be here a long time.
Yes.
Right. Well, I hope you're here.
More acres of land, because we don't want you to leave, of course, never.
Yeah.
So this is the History Circle, as we call it, or the History Spiral, and it spirals outward.
That's so nice. So you get to add whenever there's a milestone in the community.
That is correct. We just plant another tree and put another sign, you know.
Yeah.
So why don't I show you some of the signs here? The middle of the sign, the middle of the spiral has the mahogany tree. Okay. The jungle was very instrumental in the development of this community because it was all jungle here.
Yes.
So as you can see, 93 families moved from Chihuahua, Mexico to Belize in 1958. So here we have a sign. It shows that 43 families moved in 1958 from Mexico, Chihuahua, Mexico. And a lot of those names that you see on the sign over there, the dates that they arrived, the various original families that moved, it's right under the mahogany tree. The Mennonites came and settled in Belize under the mahogany tree, just like you see it there.
They were British Honduras at that time.
At the time, yes. Yeah. It was much later that Belize became independent. And that independence is also celebrated in this circle. You will find the sign here somewhere.
Oh, wow.
1981.
1981, yes.
So
I see magnet phone.
Yes, in the early days we had a lot of crime here, and so the need for communication was very important.
From the 60s.
Yeah, so because we were living in the jungle, right? And so the original people, they set up a phone system where they could call each other, talk business, talk family matters, but also for emergencies.
Right.
So it was much later that BTL came and ran their telephone lines in here. And it kind of shows the progress of the community, right? We started primitively, but we have grown a little bit more modern, right?
That's a good point you made, because you said the words like conservative, some people were like that, and then it evolved. I also saw a sign said some people in 1983 moved back to Nova Scotia. I could see it from here. So why did they leave?
Well, I mean, I don't know the exact details, but I know that throughout the community there's been this struggle. You know, do we want to continue to live in the old ways or kind of move forward? You can still see some Mennonites riding horse and buggies, and not everybody agrees. You know, some people think that it's better to raise their families in a more conservative fashion. Others believe that we can contribute more to society by opening up to more technology and business and so on. And so I think that the Nova Scotia exodus was part of that. Some of those decided that they wanted to live a more conservative method, and the same thing happened to the people in Barton Creek. They used to live here too, and they moved to Barton Creek.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So that's a little bit of history there. Not to say anything negative about what happens, but I think it's a natural evolution, right? It's what happens when people develop, right?
And what other milestone can you share with us?
Well, I think one very important milestone that happened was Hurricane Hattie that you see on this side of the circle.
Hattie.
Yes, it's in the history books of Belize, but it had a big impact on the community as well.
1961.
Yes, and so I think that is where the chicken industry, for instance, took off, because there was a desperate need for chicken. We couldn't, food supply was scarce. Same thing with roofing, you know, you see coop sheet metal today. All the roofs were destroyed in these days.
Exactly.
Wow, so this is a
they
major
really took off
milestone.
after that. I mean, of course, we suffered a lot of damage too. People didn't have radio at the time. They didn't have internet. We couldn't track the hurricane as it approached. It was they were caught by surprise, right?
Yes.
But it had a big impact on the development of the community. Initially negative, but then it had a positive
Shows
impact.
that you get necessity from something,
From
disaster.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
And you can grow from it.
And you grow, you certainly have. I have a good question for you. How did we get the name Spanish Lookout?
Yeah.
Well, the Mennonites didn't choose that name.
Really?
I think it was recently pointed out even to me that the Guatemalans had an outpost here. They were watching the Belizeans. And some military commander from Milchor had a outlook somewhere on the hills here, and as a result this was called Spanish Lookout, where the Spaniards or the Spanish people from Guatemala were having an outpost on watching, looking out.
Because we're very close to Guatemala from here.
Yes,
Exactly.
we are.
I mean, as you know, we
we're on the
just
border.
had the referendum, right? And
Yes.
so it's still an ongoing
Still up to
dispute.
today.
So maybe our name is historical. It has connections to the Guatemala and the referendum situation.
Right.
This is impressive.
Fun facts
Yes.
of Belize.
And I had already mentioned crime. There are some signs here that talk about kidnappings. We've had people who were kidnapped. We have had the oil discovery. If you look over
Certainly.
here,
Wow.
the first
1998.
2005, it says the first oil well was drilled, and that has also had an impact. Remember, prior to the community was more of a secluded community. You know, we were minding our own business. Nobody was interfering too much. But when that oil company came, everything changed. You know, all of a sudden we had to learn to get along. A lot of contracts were written. We felt our privacy was invaded.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think it worked out well. BNE and the community managed to work together well. We have never been in court, and I think that says a lot.
Yes.
I'm very proud of the fact that we have never gone to court with BNE. But it has had a big impact on the community. And today the oil wells are running dry, but I think it left a good legacy. I mean, it left a lot of business in the community.
Sure.
Yes.
And it had a big impact on the country as well.
And if you think about it, If it was found in another part of the country, I don't think it would have been so successful as it came to
here,
Spanish
yes.
Lookout. Seriously. So impressive.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, and I find it strange. I don't know why there's only oil in Spanish Lookout. There's one in every lake, but very small. And the strange thing about the oil field is the first oil well off the community is dry on the west side, and the same thing is true for the east side. And right across, the field stretches right across the community.
Right where the border starts.
Basically, so
Spanish
I
Lookout.
don't know.
It was a strategic move on,
Well, nobody
on
could
your
have known
behalf.
in 1958, so
That's true.
only God would have known, right? For
Yeah.
better or for worse.
Yes.
Since with the change, obviously, you know, you're wearing jeans pants and you're not wearing, you know,
Yeah.
times have changed, you have accepted it, you change with the times, and no problem, right? Your children,
I don't think so. I think change is something you have to accept. If you're going to hold back, you will lose your people, right?
yes.
Right.
And I think we can change, but I don't want to change to anything. I only want to change if it makes things better, right?
That's good.
So we have seen a lot of change in the world recently, some for the better, some for the worse. But yes, change does happen, and I think we can change, but I think we should focus on changing to become better.
And one last thing I want to say, you ever watch the Will Smith movies with all them alien, they hit the world and the world
yes.
shut down?
Man in black.
If the world shut down, the Spanish Lookout I want to come because these
Yeah.
people self-sufficient.
Still have
We
some
will
chicken.
live just like nothing happened. I'm sure we are taking the B&E, we are refined with diesel, we are got generator
As long as we
current.
have the oil,
we
yeah.
have
We
ice
straight.
cream, we have
So-
food,
We don't take with the
everything.
lick. Usually that New York take the lick, but here we will live.
Maybe.
Let's go see this lake, man.
All right,
please.
let me show you the lake. Yes.
Thank you.
um,
Mr. Harry, you showed us that there's a replica house across the lagoon, and you told us that that's how the houses were when the Mennonites first came to Belize. Can you please tell us a little bit more?
Yes, when the Mennonites first came in 1958, they settled down by the river, and everybody settled there because there was a sawmill there. But then, as things progressed, everybody moved inland to their own piece of property. So right at the moment, we still have we still keep a replica village of that original village that was down by the river. And the house that you see back there represents the old original Mennonite house.
And it was the same size. It's
Similar,
the same size
and a
as
house like
right?
that would hold a family of 8, you know,
Wow.
or maybe even a family of 12, you know. So you could see that the struggle was really intense. People really
Yeah.
struggled at first, but then things have evolved. And so today we have this park here. We built it, as I said before, to commemorate our 50th anniversary. And this is a man-made lake. Today it's open to the public.
Man-made?
Yeah, we
I see
built a
pic-
big
I
dam
see a
across.
picnic going on there.
Yeah.
And so that's right. It's open to the public. Anybody can come and do a picnic on the little island there. It's beautiful.
Breeze, what's it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Serene.
coconut tree. It's our beach, you know.
Oh yes, Spanish Lookout beach, boy. Why?
And can you swim in it? Or are
It
there
could-
any
you
crocs?
could, but there may be alligators in there, and the
One way
water
to
is-
find out.
Exactly. Why
Jumping
don't we?
We'll
Sean.
send there.
So
Well,
It's very relaxing.
today you see the water is very low because we're just ending a very dry season, and water was used from this park to put on the roads to keep
Okay.
the roads from flowing. The dust was too dusty, right?
yeah,
But with the rainy season now, it will replenish.
yeah. Well,
Well,
Jer,
it's very beautiful. Thank you for
what
taking
an
the
experience
time.
today. Again, we come to Spanish Lookout, people just go for ice cream and they go for car parts and they go for wheel and automotive stuff.
Hopefully
We
they come from a lot
have
more
seen-
now.
A different part of Spanish Lookout. And thank you for showing us. You have any time?
Just thank you very much for showing us around and sharing your culture and your traditions with us.
Certainly, we could learn from it, like you said.
Yes.
It's in the same land, same struggles, same breeze, same everything, but we certainly have progressed and it's very admirable.
Well, thank you for coming. It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
very much. So with that, we shall say,
Belize,
Make
make we go.